financial experts and analysts around the world are expecting a global recession in 2023. Even the World Bank Group president, David Malpass, has said that due to the higher interest rates being imposed by central governments all around the world to arrest the increasing inflation, global growth is slowing sharply, and that puts people in emerging markets and developing economies in grave danger. India be affected by this upcoming recession thing in 2023? How will India tackle this situation if such kind of situation arises? Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Ritap, and in this video we are going to discuss the 4 actual reasons due to which India will be safe relative to other developing economies around the world in this upcoming recession.
Move on now and talk about the Indian economy.
If I look at the case of India, it's a logistical marvel.
India's growth remains strong. Debt and inflation need to be managed, and that needs to be an ongoing process.
IMF ने जारी अपनी ताजा वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक आउटलुक रिपोर्ट में भारत की आर्थिक विकास दर का अनुमान दूसरी बार घटा दिया है।
How India navigates through all these challenges could very well decide the future course for the Indian economy.
Now, the first one is India's low external debt. India has an external debt of $620.7 billion as estimated at March 2022, which is more than majority of the economies in the world. But again, as an astonishing fact, it accounts for only 19% of the total GDP of the country, which is in fact lower than most of the economies in the world. Most of the debt is domestically held, and so it's not prone to huge movements in currency during gloomy times like recession. Having a low external debt is an advantage to India because it does not only help in increasing the GDP as all the monetary payments stay inside the country, but it also invites foreign and private investments into the country. Number 2. Increase in household savings. Recently, because of the pandemic, more and more Indian people are investing in mutual funds, which recorded a growth of 34% since the pandemic times. And at the same time period, on the other hand, the bank deposits further reported a growth of only 10% as compared to the mutual funds. This means more and more people are saving their money, and this means more investments for the country. And it is in fact more helpful than those private corporations. It also helps in some other ways as it provides a major boost to the GDP of the country as well. Number 3. Direct benefits transfer. So before saying the advantages of the DBT scheme, it is very important for you to know what is actually the direct benefits transfer. So DBT is a scheme which was launched by the government of India aimed at transferring subsidies and cash benefits to poor or economically weak people through their Aadhaar-linked bank accounts. The financial year of 2022, the government transferred a total of 6.3 trillion rupees, or roughly 3% of the total GDP of the country through DBT scheme, and it proved very beneficial for the government as well because it helped it save a total of 2.2 trillion rupees. It became a boon for the government, especially during the pandemic times, because it transferred a total of 36,659 crore through DBT scheme, and it not only helped 80% of the people in the rural areas but also 69% of the people living in the urban areas as well. The International Monetary Fund, or simply known as the IMF, has hailed the deployment of India's direct benefits transfer scheme as a logistical marvel which reached hundreds of millions of people. And the fourth one is government's thrust upon capital expenditure. Now, there are two types of expenditures done by the government. Number one is the revenue expenditure, and the other one is the capital expenditure. Capital expenditure, or which is simply known as the capex, is the investment done by the government upon fixed assets, like for example hospital, military equipment, machinery, and many more. The Economic Survey of 2022 has suggested that Indian government's thrust upon capex, or capital expenditure, will help it in sustaining economic growth in long run, or also during the gloomy times like recession. An increase of capital expenditure of 35%, or to roughly around 7.5 lakh crore rupees in the financial year of 2023, will not only help in increasing demands for services and manufactured inputs from large industries, but will also help farmers through better infrastructure. Again, plans to extend highways under PM Gati Shakti Master Plan will not only help in decreasing the cost of production, but will also help in increasing connectivity between production centers and markets. It will also prove in helping and boosting the rural economy of India as well. India does have a lot of financial problems going on in this year already. For example, inflation is at an all-time high, and the food prices have been rising 8.6% year on year in September of 2022, and it is the highest since November of 2020. Again, on the other hand, petrol and diesel prices are still very high across all the cities of the country, and rupee is continuously depreciating against dollar, which is a big problem for India as a country because we are still significantly dependent upon imports. Now, in the middle of all this negativity, one positive news has emerged that according to IMF, or the International Monetary Fund, India is the world's fastest growing economy, and by 2028 India is expected to overtake Germany and Japan to become world's third largest economy in the world, only to be behind China and USA. With that said, I'll see you in the next one.